What's up, guys? Chris with His Bounty, and today I'm out in the garage and I am going to be building a security box for the Tactacam reveal camera. I've made a couple of these already and thought that I would put a little video together and just show you guys the steps on what I do. So here are all the tools that I'm using. I got a speed square and tape measure. You can see I've got a template here that I've just drawn up in case I didn't have a camera on hand and needed to build a box. Drill, a grinder with a cut wheel, the Tactacam, and then just a few little things for sanding, a couple files and stuff, drill bits, and that'll pretty much do it. So hang out with us and we'll get this thing put together. Alright, so the first thing we got to do on this box, this is just a disconnect box from Lowe's. It cost $15. Here's some of the literature there on the front of the box, but as you can see, it's a disconnect switch, so it's got this handle on it. We're going to drill that out and get rid of it. But first off, we open it up, we're going to take the guts out of here. So we're going to get a screwdriver and take out all that. Alright, so removing the guts in here, it's going to be, there's two flathead screws in here, so just a flathead screwdriver. I've already taken one of them out, but once you get the second one out, this whole box will just come out. You can discard that, and then there's another one in here, and it takes a Phillips head screw. So just take your Phillips head screwdriver, unscrew that, and that lug comes right out, and you can discard that. And then once you've done all that, you can close the box up, grab your drill, and just a small drill bit will do. I believe this one is a 11/64. Not really critical on that, because all you're doing is going to drill out this rivet, and once you do that, it's going to allow that whole handle to be able to come off. When that breaks through, you'll be able to pop that handle right out of there and go inside and take this out of the inside. So now your box is completely gutted. You're ready to start marking it off for your camera dimensions. Now our box is gutted, and I want to show you real quick what I found out. There's a little tab right here, which I like it because I can put this side of the camera right underneath of it. But what you'll see is the camera box, this disconnect box, is a little bit deep for the camera itself. So when you close the door, it's behind and it can move in and out. So just a real quick, easy fix to that is I've got this foam, and what I do is I just cut a piece off about the size of the camera, or the inside of the box, which this is small, but I'm just using it to show you what it does. Is it just lets you stick your camera out, so when you shut your door after you cut your viewing screens and all that stuff out, when you close the door, this is pretty close to here, so you don't lose any of your sensors or anything like that. So just real easy. It's just a thin piece of foam that I slip in behind it. Alright, so now that we got the lever off and all that, all I'm doing now, and if you don't have a camera there, you can put the camera in the box and you can measure over if you want, from the edge of the box over to the edges of your screens and your sensors and all that stuff. But like I said, I've made a couple of them, so I've got just a real hand-drawn little blueprint I made, so I can go by. So right now I'm just transferring these numbers onto the box, and then that gives me a cutout for me when I have my cut wheel on to be able to go by to grind it out, cut it out. I've came down 1 7/8 inches from the top. I came over 3/4 of an inch from the edge, and I went over 3 3/8 from the side. So now that I've got that done, I can just take I'm just gonna take my speed square here and then just connect those dots across there. So there's the very top edge of my box. So now I'll just go by all the rest of my dimensions and finish this thing up. Alright, so here's the front of my box, matching my template. I'm just going to go back now and just quick measure again just to make sure I'm there. But you're cutting it out with a cut wheel, so it doesn't have to be exactly precise. There's a little bit of wiggle room there. So I'm looking for 3/4 of an inch here, which I've got. And then I'm looking for 3 3/8 on that inside dimension, which we're right there on the money there. We're coming down 1 7/8 inches, right there. The overall length of this big window is 3 3/4 inches. So again, we are right on the money. And then we're 3/4 of an inch coming in there, in which, as you can see, what this is doing is this is leaving this wide open. Then we're pinching in to give it a little more security from bears and such, and then it's going to come down and come around this. But another big thing to keep in mind is this sensor right here. You've got to leave it out. That's your day-night sensor. So if this is covered up, all your pictures are going to be nighttime pictures. All right, we got that now. We're going to take it out, grind this out. Now we're outside, and I'm just going to take my cut wheel and my grinder and cut out all these lines through here. One thing to keep in mind, and don't worry about it if bouncing around and scratching up the box or anything in here, because you're going to paint it and customize it however you want. But make sure you do wear your safety glasses, because it does throw some sparks and stuff. And I find it easier to keep the grinder out here in front of you this way, and you can actually see when you come up to these corners. That's why you see me flipping the box around a lot. And it's easiest to start off in the middle and then grind in that one area until you get a pretty good groove. And once you bust through the box, you can kind of stay right in that groove and on path with your lines. Now, when I get down here, I'm going to grind these out, but I'm going to start down here out in the middle, and I'm going to work my way back to this corner. And the reason for that is this is coming out anyway, and you don't have to worry about being very precise and just hitting those little lines. So you can actually start out here within the material that you're going to discard anyway. Alright, and then once you get close, you can just push it out. Just kind of like I did there. Pop it out. I'm going to take it in here. I actually get a pair of pliers and just pop it the rest of the way out. Alright, so now we're back inside, and you can see where I pushed that in. And now just a couple pulls, and you can pop that right out. Be careful because it will be sharp around the edges and stuff, but you can see we've got the viewing window for the camera is now pretty well opened, and we'll slide it in real quick, and that's going to fit up really nice. So you can see we're right on the edges there. All our sensors are open and free. Our daytime nighttime sensor is looking good, so everything should be nice. Alright, so here we're just doing the same thing. On my print here, I've got this square as the top of the box for the antenna. So I'm coming over a 1/2 inch, up an inch from the edge here, over a 1/2 inch from the corner, and then my whole box is going to be 1.5 inches. So we're going to mark that out now. So on this, you're going to want to transfer that dot to the box itself, because you're going to have to cut the door out, but you're also going to have to cut it out inside the box too. So what I'll do is I'll bring that line down. So you're going to have to cut the door and the actual top of the box as well. Extend your line across the top. Just connect these two up so you know where to stop when you're grinding up. So there's what that looks like, and then you're just going to touch your grinder here, get this, and this will actually, once you get through here, you can bend that tab out. And I found it easiest to open the door and set it down. Once you get your notches started, and you can just grind straight down. Now on these, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay the box down where I can come in with the cut wheel and just cut straight down to here and straight down to here. Few quick twists. It'll pop right out of there like so. And just watch your extra, there's a couple little pieces of metal in there. Just make sure you get those out so they don't cut you. Where this door's seamed here, you just start bending it back and forth, and it'll eventually give. Or you could take the grinder and come across the edge of it. I think I did that on the first one. But as you can see, she's starting to give now. The same way, just watch your edges. There's your hole for the top, for your antenna, and your camera. Alright, so now we're just going to do a little test fit. Got my piece of foam, set it in, put the camera in, the door right under that notch. So right now, as you can see, the camera is laying very level here with the front of the box. Bring our antenna in from the top, screw that in, which with the door open, you could have just left it attached. But with this groove up here, it gives you a little bit of room for that thing to bend in case a bear would smack it or something like that. But I've had one out now for about a month, and I've got some bear pictures with him right on the camera, and so far it's been great, and we've had no issues at all. So with the fit there, with it up, you can see we've got everything notched out. Our daytime nighttime sensor is clear right here. Everything's out. Our antenna is here. Got plenty of room there. The last thing I'm going to do is pop this out in the bottom, which it's already perforated there to be able to do that. So I'm going to knock that out. That way any water that gets inside here will be able to drain out the bottom. All right, so after I thought about it a little more, I went ahead and just drilled a few small holes in the bottom instead of popping out just that big one. Because I know a lot of situations, I'll angle my camera down just a little bit. So I wanted to have some holes up here towards the front and one in the very back corner in case I had to angle it back for any situation. But instead of popping out that big one in the middle, I just drilled a few small holes in the bottom to let it drain. And then from there, it's just painting it up however you want. I found I use a lot of the Krylon camouflage paints. I use sponges to dab it. Makes a really cool effect. And another thing that I've been using a lot here lately is a fly swatter. So it's got a neat little diamond pattern. So I just set it down, hit it real quick. I'm going to leave this one the base gray, and then I'm going to add some brown and some green, probably a little bit of black with the fly swatter and the sponges as well, and paint it up real nice. So that's pretty much it. You can put your lock here, keep this thing locked up, so that way you don't have any thieves. Can't just take it or come by and steal your memory card or something like that. Now after the test fit, I just come in here. I've got this wheel here, just a little sanding wheel buffing pad. And I just bump it all around these edges. Everything we cut out, open the door, do the inside. A file works good too. I've got just a couple small files, a round one to kind of get in these corners real well. I'm just knocking all this stuff off so you're not cutting your hands and stuff while you're out there changing your cameras or stuff like that. So. Alright guys, I want to go over how I mount this real quick before we got done. I'm going to hold this up to the light, but you can see how this has a bunch of holes in it. There's a bunch of holes in it when it comes to you from Lowe's, but I drilled two, as you can see right there, those two in the middle that are in line with each other. I do that so I can run just a couple lag bolts in it. If it's on a skinny tree, sometimes you put them on a bush or something like that. But also, you could drill a hole in this side and knock out that knockout, or drill another hole in that side, just a little bit bigger than your Python cables, and you can run it through that way and add an additional lock there. But also cutting a slit here, and then same thing on the other side, just cutting a nice little slit in the side, and you could use the actual strap that was provided with the camera. That way you wouldn't have to drill into a tree or run a bolt in a tree if you didn't want to do that. Here's a view of the box that I use. This is just a light duty enclosed switch. I got it at Lowe's. So I think you can get them probably Lowe's, Home Depot, somewhere like that. They're usually in the tune of right around $15. So that's why I went that route. I know Tactacam said they were going to eventually make one. But I didn't really have time to wait, and here in Virginia you're not leaving any cameras out that mainly the bears aren't going to tamper with. So that was my idea. I went to Lowe's, found a box I thought would work. It was 15 bucks. I think they are making some now, but they're right around the $35 range. So the way I look at it is I can buy two of these and some paint and be better off that way. So alright guys, so that's going to about wrap it up for this one. I'm going to finish deburring this thing, and I'm actually going to paint it tomorrow. It's dark outside now, so sorry for that lighting, but I was trying to get some lights out there for you. But I'd much rather done it in the middle of the day in the daylight, but I'm going to get this camera out tomorrow, so I wanted to have it ready to go when I got off work. So that's the reason that the lighting was not the best. But please like the videos, subscribe down below. And guys, just stick with us, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some more gear reviews and just some do-it-yourself stuff with his bounty and our guys. But from then, live blessed.